Hey there folks, Glenn with the Cactus Atlas, and today we're going to be exploring one of my favorite places on this earth, Kodachrome Basin State Park in the beautiful state of Utah. Whew, that was a fast, brisk walk from the entry sign there at Kodachrome to my campsite. I'm just joshing with you. It's actually a little bit later. I've been waiting for the sun to go down and doing other business to really get this Kodachrome Basin State Park episode started. Quite possibly one of my favorite parks of all time for so many reasons. One of which being their campgrounds and campground facilities here and all the services they have for their campgrounds, which if you want to learn about that, go over to Camp View. We'll have a campground review, kind of the old Cactus Atlas style review, plus a campground drive-through to help you select a site at one of the 3 campgrounds inside here at Kodachrome. But today, we're here just to experience the park. I will give you a little taste though. This is Bryce View Campground here in Kodachrome, and I'll show you. You have to watch Camp View to learn more, but I'm back here in this corner on my site, and I had the whole campground to myself most of the time. There were some people way over there, and then we had some new folks arrive. For whatever reason, they chose the site right next to mine, and that makes me annoyed a little bit. But I guess some people like to feel the security of being close to others, but they had their pick of any other site they wanted. But lucky for me, as you'll learn in the Camp View video, the sites here are impeccably spaced out and the privacy is amazing anyway, so it's fine. But let me show you really quick. I'll give you a peek at my site here. See where our little tent is set up, and in fact, I guess this is an opportune moment to walk up here to the top of the hill to maybe get a view of where I'm going to take you really quick before the sun goes down, but we probably have to hustle. I don't know how much time I got here, probably less than an hour to go. Somewheres over this ways is a dirt road that leads to something called Chimney Rock, one of the prime features here at Kodachrome, and I've never seen Chimney Rock. I don't even know what to look for, but I believe on the map it's past my campground and not in the main section of the park, which is really off this way where a lot of the iconic landscapes you might recognize are. Unless I misread the map, but we better hustle and figure this one out. And this would be a really awesome view if the sun weren't doing that right now and setting over there, because Bryce View Canyon is named as such because you could see the orange cliffs of Bryce, but every time I want to film them, it's this time of the day. So we'll go look at our little red cliffs over here. I thought these were pretty. And you can see this is my backyard here at my campsite. So that's why, another reason why I love this park is you really get to get out into the land of pinyon, pine, and juniper trees and sweet, sweet seclusion. See a couple folks driving out amongst the cattle grazing, heading out to Chimney Rock presumably, which, let me go arm slim with some cameras, maybe change a battery or two, and we'll go check it out. We are almost ready for liftoff here. Just checking one last thing, and we should be good. So let's go find Chimney Rock. Should be right up the road. They give you a nice handy map here. You're gonna hear me rave about this place on Camp View, and this is just another reason why to rave. I mean, they put a lot of thought into everything here. It's the best, you know, I would say one of the best publications I've gotten. Anyway, and they've got great maps that come with it for the whole area. So yeah, apparently Chimney Rock is somewhere out that way we were looking. In kind of a weird spot, which is why I don't think I saw it on the first trip. I may have mistaken one of the many other phallic shaped, I don't know how else to say it, towers as a chimney rock. And wait, yeah, that's one disclaimer I'm gonna give you. There's one thing here that you'll just see it for yourself. I have found the best time to hang around Kodachrome. Sunset's a good time. I'm sure sunrise isn't bad either. Kodachrome gets its name with permission from, I think, the Kodak company in the 1940s it was. There was a National Geographic expedition out here and they recommended naming it Kodachrome. I may have the dates wrong, there's stuff in the book, but at some point that's the case. So, and I think the Kodak company agreed. So was that like some marketing thing, you think? Did someone rub someone else's back? Makes sense though. But now to the younger generation, they're probably like, Koda what? But I'm old enough to know. And the song Kodachrome gives you the nice, whatever colors, gives you the green, the summer, or the reds of Kodachrome Basin National Park, or State Park rather. So is this the famous Chimney Rock right here? This lone rock monolith? If so, I would expect some kind of a sign. If this is Chimney Rock, give me a sign, please. I think it is, because I don't see a road continues any further on. And will I have it to myself? Getting here just a tad bit later than I would have liked, because you can see there's still sunlight on the peaks up there. But this would have looked better maybe with some sunlight on this rock. This has to be Chimney Rock. There's a interpretive sign there too. I guess we get it all to ourselves. So I saw some people driving back this way. I guess they've already finished. Well, how cool is this? Chimney Rock. Oh my goodness, look at that. You know, this moment up here right now, it's been a long time since I've had this kind of silence. I feel the kiss of a breeze ever so slightly every once in a while, but exquisite calm and exquisite quiet out here right now. I mean, right here speaks volumes as to why Utah, why nothing can beat it in my book. You can find landscapes like this all over the place in the state, and around every twist and turn there's something new like this. There you go. Is that okay, buddy? Oh, you want me to go this way, you say? Fine. Jeez Louise, man. You are picky, buddy. But I have to agree, that's a better looking shot, so you got me on that one, buddy.
I'm too sexy for this rock. Too sexy for this rock. So sexy, oh yeah.
Old photos. These old photos are from the September 1949 issue of the National Geographic magazine. During their expedition, they named this colorful area Kodachrome Flats, after the trade name of Kodak's color film. Did I tell you that? Yes, I did. Note the large sandpipe, now called Chimney Rock, has changed very little since the time it was photographed. Except there's those really cool cars like that, such an iconic look for us today. So really no other info other than that, though. And as I come around, we just have to look at that sun-kissed landscape. You see those reds out there? You get a lot of that coloration here at this time of the day, and that's part of the reason why I was reading they call this Kodachrome. You just see those colors pop here, and you know, they contrast against green backgrounds with juniper sometime and pinyon pine. Sometimes they're orangish in color. You know, those could be, like here, this is a little bit more orange, kind of Bryce Canyon coloration. It's hard to tell, maybe those are out there too, and now it's just the sun giving it the red, but very, very colorful, very beautiful. And when we go back into the park proper, maybe for sunset tomorrow, that'll be my goal, is we'll just do all sunsets in Kodachrome or something like that. That to me is my favorite section of the park, but Chimney Rock is awesome. I'm just finding it to be such a quiet park. Very few people, when I've been anyway. I'm sure it has its times like anywhere else, but so far this place has got a perfect record with me, and I've camped here 2 nights now, and this will be my 3rd, and tomorrow will be my 4th. So I think I should know by the end of it what I think, but I've already made up my mind. Unless something horrible happens, like the people tonight keep me up all night, which it seems like it's probably like a grandmother and maybe granddaughter combo, very young girl and an elderly woman. So I'm hoping they're not the partying type. If they start getting crazy, I'm I told Amy I'm just packing up and I quit the Cactus Atlas and everything. That'd be the worst. Partying grandma and underage drinking daughter. I'd have to report that, I think. All right, I don't know how well this is gonna work with this headlamp on. Try to keep it out of your eyes. Do some campground. See, that's not gonna work so good, is it? Let's come over here and I'll show you what I'm up to. That's why I got the light out. But making dinner, and figured here at Kodachrome we'll get one last look at the sky over there before the night's over, just to kind of share the magic of this place with you. You can kind of see the late evening glow. Not late evening, I should say, the close to the end of civil twilight glow as I make dinner. Some people like a little bit of campground life, I know. And I know we moved everything to Campview, but this is acceptable, I would say. Here's my dinner tonight. I'm having a beef stroganoff. These Peak Refuel things are delish. My first dehydrated meal, I think, since my first night. I've been trying to eat more fresh and eat more veggies and things like that on trips, and it actually helps. But it's more expensive per meal on the average. But anyway, so that's what I'm having. And for now, we check to see if the water boils. I like using my little tailgate for cooking and stuff, to be honest. It's just easier. Everything's in the bed of the truck, although it's in kind of disarray right now. I think I hear it boiling even. Oh yeah, let me get on that. Steamy. Well folks, it gets dark fast, so I think this is a fool's errand to try to film more of my little dinner making thing. I just need to get it in my belly. I got an early morning, so I shared a little bit of my prep with you, and you don't want to see me eat dehydrated beef stroganoff anyway. Or you probably do. Anyway, good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. When you enter Kodachrome Basin State Park for the very first time and pass through the visitor center, most likely you're going to drive straight ahead. And you're going to immediately see what makes Kodachrome so special. On that initial drive in, you'll see these beautiful red rock formations just kind of towering above you as you drive right in between them. But if you look carefully, you'll oftentimes see these gray upright structures that look like pipes at times. Very similar to what we saw at Chimney Rock, all over the park. And then you'll come over and you'll see the big reveal as you drive towards the very back of the park, where we will begin our adventure today. But Kodachrome's a very special place, and you will absolutely get a taste of it as you drive in for the first time. And as you make your way back towards the back of the park, towards the very beautiful white cliffs made of gypsum with red stripes in them, you'll come across a very fine specimen of these strange upright structures that we've mentioned. And therein lies the thing I want to explore a little bit on this episode is, what the heck are these things? The exciting news is, according to the literature, I don't know if there is a definitive reason or what these things are. There's 3 theories that they mention of how they form. Here on this first one though, we're gonna go look at a bunch of them and explore the colors of the park along the way. This, I'm gonna just kind of get you familiar with the name of what they're called, and we'll start there. Now this one's located in the very back pocket of the park, and it's not a very large park, by the way, Kodachrome, but it's packed with lots to do and see and miles of hiking trails. But if you study this thing closely, you'll see that kind of muddy red sandstone rock wrapping a gray rock, a sedimentary rock. And yep, they do have a name for these things. The name they call that in the brochure you get it, they're called sedimentary pipes. So pipe, it makes sense. And we started with perhaps the largest Chimney Rock yesterday, but I like these a little bit because the shapes are a little more interesting, and you know, the very thin and fragile looking this one is. But for now, we're gonna let our imaginations run wild and come up with our own symbolism for these things. What do you guys see in this one? I know I'm taking great risk here asking for people to comment on some of the things you're gonna see here today, but let's try to keep it clean and family friendly if we can. This one I don't think is really the thing that worries me. There's something coming up that we'll just get to that when we get to it. I like my idea though, the mummy finger. It's like a finger where the bone's exposed and it's just dry, flaky leftovers on bone. Part of what the literature you get when you come in here does call out are the different colors here in the park. I hope I'm not misspeaking. I want to say they were talking about the white striated layers as being gypsum layers, and I want to say they're among the oldest in the park. Boy, I should be quiet until I know what I'm saying. Or Amy can always correct me because I'll bring home the literature, but I'm not in a car now and it's hot. My brain is frazzled. But you could see just different layers in that. It's absolutely beautiful. And the thing I love about it is this white often serves as a backdrop against like the richer red. And then you add that gray sedimentary rock there, that rock pipe. It's a good combo. All right, so I'm gonna now make my way back through the park and we're gonna make a couple stops along the way. And we're gonna find some more sedimentary pipes as we admire the landscape also. So you're gonna get to see the park as well as maybe each stop, I'll give you a fact, I'll give you a theory about what they think these things might be. And towering above the Basin Campground is perhaps one of the most iconic of the sedimentary pipes in the park. I don't know the name of it. I think I saw it in the visitor center. I think it actually has a name, and I think I saw something that said the Geoduck. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Amy, you can put a picture of what a Geoduck is. It's a real thing. It's gross, and it looks, I don't know, but to me, let's get we'll get up closer to that, and we'll talk about maybe the first theory of how these things form. And then we'll, of course, offer our ideas as to what our imaginations are seeing here. When I was doing my camp view work earlier, I spotted site number 9, and I said, if you want a really good view of that sedimentary pipe here above Basin Campground, site number 9 is a great one to choose. And it will be the setting as we discuss these things further, and I'll present to you theory number 1. Now these are very common in the park. They say there's about 67 of them total inside the park. And you will see them of all different shapes and sizes all around. You saw Chimney Rock, maybe the biggest of them all. And then you saw my little mummy's finger over there, really frail and thin. And then I guess this guy, the Geoduck, I think. I need to confirm that. When we visited here the first time, I posted a picture of this on Instagram, and I remember one person said they thought it looked like a rocket ship. And I agree. I think it looks like it's version 2 of Jeff Bezos's rocket. It's a new design where they added like a new fuel tank feature, like right there on this side, right there. So that's an idea. Jeff Bezos's new rocket. When I was here the first time, I didn't read any facts or anything. I just did a blow through of the place. But I did surmise as to what might cause it. And I think my guess is indeed one of the 3 theories. I don't know if it's necessarily the leading theory anymore. As they mentioned something we'll talk about. But it looks so similar to something we've seen on the Cactus Atlas that does have an explanation that it's hard not to think of it when you look at these. Looks like tufa at times, the same thing you would see at Mono Lake. Any of you guys know what that is? So basically what happens at Mono Lake, if I'm remembering my science facts correctly, is a long time ago, springs were under a lake and they were flowing upwards, and there was a mixture of calcium and carbonate, making a substance called calcium carbonate, and building up over time those structures that remain today, the tufa, as it were. And I think that's kind of the idea behind what they were thinking here, is maybe it's the same idea where some kind of material flowed upwards And it's like, think of it as almost like a fossilized spring of some sort. The only thing that troubles me is at times it doesn't resemble tufa exactly though. The mummy's finger kind of looked more like it, didn't it? When it's kind of frail and broken. And there's some other ones that look like it too, but this one and Chimney Rock aren't like at first glance, I wouldn't think tufa. Okay, so here's the rules. We're all adults here, hopefully. So rather than comment on what it obviously looks like, let's just be funny and come up with alternate explanations like, hey, it's a ray gun turned on its side, or something funny like that. Anything but what I know some of you dirty people are thinking out there. This is a geology lesson, guys. But sometimes nature can have a sense of humor, I guess. If you look carefully off in the distance, you'll see that sedimentary pipe that we were just observing from site number 9, and we drove down the road, the same road we drove in for a lot of these views initially. And if you kind of start scanning the landscape, you're gonna start seeing a lot more sedimentary pipes. There's one in your field of view now towards the ground, probably some up high too. And if you kind of look this way and look up, I see another one, and another one, and then this really big one, that's one of my favorites, and that's the one I think that was making me think tufa at one point in time. But you can clearly see whatever it is of a different quality of rock than the surrounding rock, and for whatever reason it's just sticking up. I'm just gonna walk around and we'll talk about the two other theories. I'll give them to you both. One of them has to do with seismic activity, and this area was thought to be very seismically active with earthquakes at some point. And it was thought that with earthquakes, certain sediments would actually get pushed up or squeezed up or move into cracks, and then they would harden into like a cement, into a sedimentary rock. And then over time, that softer red rock, that sandstone will erode, and that harder sedimentary rock is left. And I would say that the other theory, there's similarities too, and I think it's the newest of the theories, but it's thought that way underground there may have been pockets of water and sediments mixing, and over time the high pressure putting weight on that stuff kind of pushed they described it as a slurry, kind of a mix of, I guess, wet cement sediment. It would get pushed up via pressure from the higher pressure stuff sitting on top of it up through cracks in the rocks, and then once again it would cement and solidify over time, and then from there the story is the same. The softer rock around it erodes and then exposes the harder sedimentary rock. So in a way, to me, it's very similar, those two. One, it seems like the Earth's movement, earthquakes are making the slurry go places, and the other one is pressure pushing down. Something in my gut makes that second one sound more feasible to me, to get something like that. So you would think with earthquakes or whatever, wouldn't that just be more haphazard and not? And these things are like cylindrical, and I don't know, it just seems like something like if you're eating a like a push pop or something and squeezing that, like it's like you're squeezing that up. I don't know. If you look behind Slim, I think you could see maybe 2 or 3 more of those, or maybe those are 2 or 3 with the sandstone still wrapped around the outside like bacon. And you gotta wonder how many more of those things are obscured and hidden inside the beautiful red sandstone here at Kodachrome Basin. I almost forgot the name for a second. Such a beautiful park though, isn't it? Hey there everybody, it's the next morning, and I got up and I wanted to round off this episode by studying one of the other qualities of Kodachrome, the thing that really gave it its name. This morning here, so I slept here last night, it was my last night of sleep here. Woke up this morning and it's in the upper 40s. It's in the 50s right now. It's a little brisk here in late July, almost August. I left this morning when it was still kind of dark and the sun hadn't come up, and I went to my Bryce Canyon Coffee Company I've been going to almost every morning in Tropic just to save time, and they have breakfast sandwiches and foods that are delicious. So this place has been a daily for me. So if you're out there watching Bryce Canyon Coffee Company, You did well. I like you people. My original plan for this episode was to recreate something that I did on my first trip here. I'm gonna show you this from over here, but it's called Angel's Palace. It's actually down towards the back. There's a trail that takes you up into some cliffs, and there's this precipice, this very narrow precipice that you walk out on, and it's freaky. Really tested my limits of my fear of heights. I called it the Angel's Landing of Kodachrome, but Angel's Palace is close enough. But the main thing from up there is when I was here, I was looking across at these. We were on the other side of them, seeing them from up above at sunset, and I recall, I'm going by memory here, and Amy's probably showing you the pictures. There's just a nice red glow and very colorful. And that was the moment I said, Kodachrome. It all makes sense now. But the main thing though is I wanted to get these rocks, just like I did at that time. I wanted to come see these up close. So just like when I was on Angel's Palace, these were the main subject from afar. And it's the red rocks that I think decided that's really what I needed to finish with on this episode, is some exploration here of this. These really large red rocks that tower along the side of the road. I'm gonna sneak back in them, but out of all the features in this park, I love this little section when you drive in. This is one of my favorites, and you can see another sedimentary pipe, or what appears to be one, still with its chocolatey exterior. We haven't licked down to the center of the Tootsie Pop yet. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a sedimentary pipe? 1, 2, 3. 3. Anybody remember that one? It's interesting when you look close at these things. I've been saying sandstone this whole time, and hopefully I'm not misspeaking. It looks more like mudstone. It really does. I mean, I don't like to contribute to erosion, but maybe it's like a clay. I don't know. But you can see it's softer, and that's why those pipes and that sedimentary rock remain, but this stuff doesn't. I think this stuff just washes away with time. Is that gray right there? Is that some sedimentary rock exposed? I want to touch and feel sedimentary rock. See if we could feel the difference, but that's kind of up there. A little out of reach for me. But here we go. Here's a nice little view of some color. I would say I enjoyed sunset better so far than this time of the day, just because the sun isn't touching this stuff. At least not yet. Maybe it will. But you can see how the reds and all those colors pop. You got the white gypsum cliffs, that red, and then green. It's like a trifecta of color. So are those sedimentary pipes in the making? Well, not in the making, but in the making of being exposed? Or just the shape of the red stone? I don't know. I like this view out this way, like especially when you drive over the road here, like from my footage, the reveal you get of this little, I don't know if a valley is correct term or whatever, but one of my favorite views coming in here when you get that exposure there. Okay, so from this perspective, I think we can actually see Angel's Palace, that little strip that I walked out on, so you get a sense of what it is. And if that's not it, it's very similar, but I'm pretty sure that what I'm seeing is it. I'll explain, so don't worry. Can you guys see the geoduck? The interesting formation kind of in that area? So look to the right of that and see like a piece of land jutting out in red, very narrow, kind of in the center of your screen. and it's kind of interrupted. There's like a piece on the end, and there's like a broken piece, and then it continues. It's that, if I remember correctly, that you walk out on and then you face back this way. And there's just straight drops on either side. Like I said, having that B-roll, the footage we took from that, you should be seeing that now. But I believe that's the location, but there's other spots up there all along the edge where you get views of where I'm standing at sunset, and it was spectacular. I don't know if it was just hard to see in the light. I think I see Chimney Rock in plain sight. And at times I was saying, oh, it's behind all that. I think it blends in at different times of the day. But I can see it where we started our episode the other night. And this is the view that says it all. Finally, we can understand what Bryce View Campground is all about. You can see Bryce Canyon, the orange cliffs of that area of Bryce, with Kodachrome in front of it, making for a very colorful sight. Well, friends, sometimes the end of one episode is the beginning of another one, and that is going to be the case here at Kodachrome as I need to pack up and head to my next location, but I'm going to start our next adventure here. So next week when you come back, it'll be like picking up right where we left off. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.